G'day guys, or welcome to another layout. This one is, it seems busy, but it's not. I did leave a couple of things in though, because there's a few things I want to draw your attention to that may be happening with your scrapbooking, and I might be able to help you out with it. So stick with me. So I pulled out some papers. Now this is the Paige Evans paper number 11 from the Blooming Wild collection. And it is, I love this piece of paper because it's super busy. But when I looked at it, I wanted to actually do like a either circles or hexagons, but I wanted to do a HEXI page. And so I pulled out my Creative Memories hexagon punches, and I just got in and I've cut them out in a way that I can kind of join like colors together, if that makes sense. It'll make sense as it comes along. Now, can you see how I'm joining the bulk of the green to be in one spot? Because I think it's gonna, and see like there with the blue flowers, I've joined them together so that I've got more of a clump of one color. Compared to the actual page when it was in its entirety, they were sort of all over, which is totally fine, and I adored it, but this is just the direction I wanted to sort of take the layout. Now, I did end up using 99% of this paper. I didn't end up wasting a whole lot, which I actually thought I might, because I didn't want to cut it out and then recover an entire 12 by 12. So by cutting it out and doing it this way, yeah, so I just think it works really well, how I did it like this. Now I'm just turning these around to try and get like colors in the same sort of spot. Now I have sped this up so you don't have to sit and watch. We all know how to punch out a hexagon. We all know how to rearrange onto a page. So because of that, I decided that I would keep this sped right up. As you can see, I've nearly used the whole page. What I do actually end up doing is cutting this down so I can reach, because your hexagon punch only goes in so far into the page. So it comes along. It works really well. Now, this is something that I did. I'm using my pokey tool because all these little hexes, if I move them, I'm never going to get them back in the same spot again. So all I did was poked holes through onto a second sheet of cardstock, and that way I can roughly see where I'm going to put those hexes when I put them onto this paper. Now, this is one of the things I wanted to show you. Can you see how my brush that I'm using, can you see how that went really dark? See how I'm getting the swirls? That means I can explain why that happens. And I've had a few people ask me that, how do I get my blending to be smooth? This is the perfect layout to show you what happens. If you've got too much ink in your blending tool, which happens over time, like I don't clean mine every time I use them, because to me that's just wasting ink. And so I decided that I'd do this, but the pink and the blue, if you can see how the yellow is going on nice and smooth, but the pink and the blue, it has kind of swirls in it, and you can see where it's really dark. That is because there's too much ink trapped in the tool itself. So when you press on it, you're getting these swirls. And because when you're ink blending like this with one of these brushes, you actually want to use a very light hand, so you get a nice cloud of ink on there. You can press really hard, but to be honest, if you're going to press really hard, perhaps that blending technique is not what you're after on that layout. Does that make sense? So I went ahead and I put it all there, and that's when I realized that I wasn't happy with, because I wanted the ink blended more of a cloud look around the hexagons, I wasn't happy with it. So I do show you how I fix that shortly, because I wasn't happy with how this was blended out on the edges. I wasn't going for a rainbow. What I was trying to go for is just patches of colour that are in the hexagons, so it would radiate out from, radiate, that's the word, cloud, radiate, potatoes, tartos. So that's what I was wanting, that sort of radiated look coming from behind. Now I have, since doing this layout, I've actually gone ahead and I have cleaned all my brushes, all my oxide brushes. I don't use my ink brushes very much, but my Distress Oxide brushes, I cleaned the whole lot. My mini blenders, everything. And yes, it was very sad seeing all that ink going down the drain. But if your tool's not working for you, you really need to consider maintenance on the tool. And this is something that I've been popping up over in the Facebook group. Remember to maintain your tools. Remember to take the sticky glue off your scissors. You know, use one of your sticky erasers. That takes it off perfectly every time. Make sure your ruler doesn't have glue all over it and it's got little lumps all on it. You know, little things like that make a very big difference in the outlay of the video, like the way you can lay down your mixed media. I'm still toying with this, guys. See how much ink is going down? That pink oxide brush was so full. It was crazy full. And I'm trying to come in with a lighter tone of colour to see if I can fix it, but it's not really working. Can you see? It's just, if you look at that blue brush over to the right at the moment, can you see how much ink is trapped in that brush? I bought all these brushes I think I bought them maybe June last year, and I've never cleaned them. And I probably do a lot more scrapbooking than the average person, and you know, creating 6 videos a week at a minimum. So I really should have maintained them well before now, but it's something that it will hold you in good stead if you aren't getting the results that you're after from the tool that you're using. Now I'm going around and I'm just gluing all these down. I'm just putting the tiniest bit of glue down because at this stage I'm still not sure. I'm still not a fan of how I've done the inking. So this is where I come in and I fix it. So I'm showing you there. I know there's a couple of holes missing. Don't stress. It's all good. We're going to fix this. So I decided to ditch the blending tool and let's come in with some water and we will spread out, and that way I can get more of a watercolored look on the outside edge of these colors, and hopefully that will be more pleasing to my eye. And I was really happy with this in the end. Now, is this what I wanted to do on this layout? No. But when you're scrapbooking, you need to be able to flip and turn. So even though you've got your heart set on having a nice smooth blend, if I had have gone and washed those brushes straight away, I still wouldn't have been able to do it because then I would have had wet brushes and it wouldn't have worked. So I decided, no, I'm just going to add some water and do a watercolor look and go from there. Now, don't stress about those 2 holes that are missing because remember, we've got to put photos on here. We've got to put a title on here yet. We've got to embellish a little bit on here yet. So it all comes together. But that, I really wanted to show you how that just didn't work. It just wasn't working. So this is an easy way to fix it. And just a few little splitty splatters. I didn't mind doing the splatters tone on tone the way I was doing it. Even though that's not normally my go-to, I didn't mind doing it purely because I went down the watercoloring route and the little splatters worked. Now you notice that I dried it. I dried it because I've got green next to orange and then I'm introducing purple, and you don't want mud. So purple next to the orange down the bottom there. be really careful doing that because you'll end up with mud. Because I was ink blending, I didn't really worry about it. But when you add water and you don't have as much control over where it's going to actually run to, beware. Beware. Now these are my two photos. This is just my girls having a play, and they were mucking around. They had a sister's day out, and they called into the park on the way home, and even though they're much older, they're still kids. They're still kids at heart, and they had fun on the slippery slides, and they were having a blast. And thankfully, Taylor is very, very good at getting photos for me when I'm not around. So I wanted to scrap these because they're just absolutely gorgeous photos. Now, this is where I wasn't sure what colour. Can you see I'm just auditioning different colours? I didn't want to go black. I needed a dark colour, but I didn't want to go black. So I pulled out, I've got the A4 papers they used to be Recollections, now they're something else. They're from Spotlight, and they come in a pack, and it's a great, there's like 5 different shades of the one color family in each pack. So that's where I got these from. The pink and the color I just used is kind of like Uncharted Mariner. It's that real dark teal color. I really like that color. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, so I am trimming these guys down. I did want to put a white barrier between all the pattern in the background and my photos. Now, because I have roughed up the edges, so I did go around with the edge distressor and I did all the hexagons. That was purely for texture, not really for anything else. Now, these stickers are I haven't written them down. They are, give me half a shake of a dog's hind leg. They are called, these are the Amy Tangerine ones. These are smaller. I've got 2 sets of the Amy Tangerine stickers. I've got the Remarks and I've got these ones. These are just a sticker book. They're just called sticker book. They don't have an actual title on them. They're by American Crafts, but they're really good. You can see the size of the letters, and you get several of the letters in each color. So I was able to create a nice, bright, bold title with them, and to separate it from all the color in the background, I did create myself a white border around the words, just so that you do have that separation. Sometimes I have people ask me sometimes, why is my title, it doesn't stick out like yours, it doesn't pop like yours. How do I get my titles to pop? The best way I know to get a title to pop is, one, you can use a completely contrasting color. So you're literally black on white, white on black, in theory, right? Or you can use, if you want to do like a colored title like I'm doing here, and it's going on a really colorful background and you want it to stand out, simply put a white border around your words. There's no special technique for this, guys. This is literally, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just cutting it and just trimming the edges. You could corner round, you could pull out your decorative corner rounder, you could use a border punch and go around the edges and then put your letters in the center. You could do what I'm doing here. These are the new Bic Intensity pens. They're so pretty. They really are super, super pretty. I bought them so I could put them in my Cricut and I could write with them, and they work a treat. They really do. I've actually got some pen adjusters. So I think it's a 25-piece pack. I bought it from Amazon, and what it does is you remove the cartridge, you put the adapter into your B side. Is it B side or A side? I think it's A side. Where your pen would go. And then you click your pen in, And the adapters that I bought, they cover a massive range of pens, and they're all current, and these were some pens that I've got an adapter for. So I picked them up. I think there was like a cyber sale. I think it was cyber something. There was a sale not long ago. If you know what it is, write it below. I don't remember what it was, but it was on Amazon, and they had these pens and they were 50% off. So I went, yeah, all right, I'll buy some just for, I'm always looking for something slightly different, especially when it comes to bringing you guys new content that's not necessarily the same thing day in, day out, because, it's got to stay fresh. It's got to stay interesting. So, I'm going to town with my sequins. This is what I really wanted to do, to bring home the colours and the sparkle. I just wanted to bring it all alive, and it totally works. I love it. Absolutely love it. Now, my sequins, I was asked again the other day where I get mine from. I actually did a big shop of my sequins from Lynn Craft here in Australia. They have 40% off store-wide every so often, which is actually probably about the same as Spotlight, probably once a quarter. And the 40% off came up, and I happened to have sort of a spare $100. So I went in and I bought these containers. I bought just packets and packets and packets of different sequins. And I'm so glad I did, because I never used to use sequins very much, but I worked out why I didn't. Because I don't always like to buy my sequins in a pack. Like they like Scrapbook Fantasies, they do a sequins pack for their collections. So you can buy, if you obviously buy that collection, buy that sequin, and it's all going to coordinate. That's great. And I've done that, and I will still probably do that here and there when it goes with a collection. But for me personally, I like to use my own colors and mix and match it myself. So I like my sequins to all be separated in its own little spaces, and then I can just use my little spoon that I've got off there to the right hand side. It is the best little spoon I ever bought. I actually saw, I think it was Sasha Reed, she had one, and I just went, oh, bingo, that's what I need. And yeah, it's perfect for scooping out the sequins, and it doesn't get all staticky. It's fantastic. So I'm going to town, and I'm putting down, as I do in all my videos, I'm putting down stacks and stacks of sequins and beads and all sorts of pretty sparkly goodness. And I love how this turns out in the end. Would I have liked it more if the inks were blended? I'm going to actually say yes, I probably would have, because I would have pulled the colors, I would have faded them out more, out into the edges a little bit more, but I'm still happy with it. And you know what, if we learn to pivot, it works. Learn to pivot. It totally helps your scrapbooking layouts and the direction in which you're going. It's fantastic. So like normal, I will have everything linked down below and written there for you in case you want to grab yourself something that is similar, if not the same as what I'm using. And I will be back with another video tomorrow. Now I'm going to do my shameless plug. If you have not liked this video, I would love it if you could give it a thumbs up. I would also love a comment. That helps me out. You have no idea how much it helps out the channel. And of course, I've got my link to buy me a coffee in the description as well, in case you want to help support the channel. Now, I am pretty much done. That's it. That's all the bling and all the pretty. I just love it. all the sparkle. It's awesome. So thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and again, I say the Buy Me a Coffee link is in the description below if you want to use it. Thank you so much, guys. I will chat to you tomorrow. Bye for now.